everyone, today we're going to use our Flambrado watercolor sketchbook paper with the refillable binder and 100% cotton. I'm using my Rosa paints. This is my Madder Rose and also my Quinn Gold. And I love those two colors together. They're perfect colors for working with background, skies, loose atmospheric colors, very soft. And I'm using my black silver brush, but you can use any round brush or you could use a mop brush for this. I'm not using a whole lot of water in this one, but you can see now that I'm adding my deeper shade of that same pigment. It's getting a little darker. And I'm adding just a little bit more water with this. So when I first started, I went very, very light, left some of those light areas, and then again, darker on the edge. And I'm just lining that up. Right there is going to be my horizon line. And you can see that I don't mess with that a whole lot. It's just light color to start and then dropping in the other. So now I'm going to lift out just a tiny bit. So I've got my little paper towel. We will do a little scrubby screw. Scrubby screw? That's not what I want to say. Scrubberoo. Scooby-Doo. I don't know. We're going to lift out anyway some of that paint. Then we're going to drop some darker color in there. So this is where I get to play, just watching the paints. Just like playing around, seeing where I want to have clouds, where I don't, when I want more color. And I usually try to catch it on the edge. Remember, those clouds are going to be darker up at top, and as you come down lower, they usually get a little bit lighter and further apart. So now I am mixing up a couple different colors. I've got my lavender. You know, I love the lavender with it. I was going to put some purple in there, some violet. So I have just a touch of it in there mixed with it, but I opted to go with more of the lavender at this point. And again, just dropping in some of those little darker values so it looks like the underneath of some blooming clouds in there. And I watch. I just, I kind of play around with it. Let's bring that down the bottom again with a horizon line, a nice little lavender purple across the bottom. Now we're going to mirror that same thing again with the Quinn Gold down on the bottom. And I don't care. I'm going to let that just burst and bloom. Usually I will, have a nice separation in there if I'm painting not an atmospheric painting, but I want them to blend, so I don't need to have a sharp edge there. If I want to add some trees to this afterward, I can do that by just drying it and then going back in with a darker shade. I'm thinking more of a silhouette for this one. Again, matching what I had on the top as best as I can. It's not going to be perfect. I'm not leaving a whole lot of space down here either, so it's mostly sky in this one. Just a tiny bit of water on the bottom. Remember, if you need to, I actually taped this one down to my table so I can't move it, but if you need to, you can always turn your landscapes or your seascapes sideways, and sometimes it will help you just mirror those colors a little bit better. Again, I want to go a little darker, so I have plenty of time to wait. This paper is actually holding the water quite well. I was actually very surprised with it. It does have a little bit of a texture to it, but I really wanted to see how well it was going to hold a really wet wash. Now, I will tell you this, and we talked about this recently, the colors did get a little bit lighter on this paper, which sometimes does happen with a little bit less expensive paper that's, this one is 100% cotton, but like if I have arches, it just stays wet longer. But 100% cotton is usually always better. All right, let's go ahead and dry this and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. I'm going to use my Lemons On brush and we're going to add just a little island in here. So trees, you know how I love some trees. And I'm using a very kind of a light purpley shade. I didn't want to start off with that dark black, and this gives me an opportunity to kind of play around and place things where I want them. It also can give me an underpainting, which is really pretty when you layer black on top of it because some of that color shines through. So you'll see I'm just mixing around, trying some different colors. I've got some greens in here. And then we're going to deepen it just a little bit more. a little Payne's gray. Again, trying different colors. You could add indigo, dark greens. I want them to be more realistic, so I know that that lilac color is not going to be a realistic color, but you might have some of that hue from the sky reflecting in there a little bit. So sometimes I'll test out my colors to see what I'm going to like the best. So I'll try that lavender. If I don't like it, I can throw something else over the top of it. And I'm going to just start with making some trees in here. Super light strokes, not putting a lot of pressure on that brush. Going to the left, going to the right. Messy little strokes. These are going to all kind of blend in with one another. And you don't know where one ends and one begins. Remember, when you're looking at trees across the way, they are going to all mingle together. So you're not going to have defined separate trees back there. Usually it's a cluster of them. So I've added some darker value across the bottom. You notice how I turned my brush sideways to do that. And then again, bringing it across using the point of my brush. I'm not going to bring it all the way across. I want to just bring it part way, and then we're going to scoop it down around. So we're going to have like a little bit of an inlet in here. Okay, notice my black is sort of transparent, like the Payne's gray color. So I'm seeing some of that light shine through in there. And I don't want to make it perfect circle. I'm going to get some jagged, rocky edges to some of that. Dragging some across again, just getting it really loose. It looks like rocks back there if they're not perfect. Turning my brush sideways again, kind of sticking out little areas where the rocks might be in the water. And they're not straight across. Notice I have just different little shapes back in here. And now I'm going to go in with some trees off in the distance. So I'm just going to drop in all of those lines and then a squiggle back and forth again. It just fills in an area very quickly. And once again, there's not a lot of definition. I might have a couple of trees up here in the background that might have a little bit more definition, but they're all growing together. They're all really close together. So there's tiny, as they go further away, they're going to get smaller and smaller. And that will give your painting a lot more depth. So back here, this island's way back there now. You can see just the little tops of the trees back there. So I'm going to add just a tiny bit more in here. Again, rocks kind of pop up in the water here and there. It's not perfect. I get messy. I play around. And that's what I want you to do as well. I'm going to go in with some more darker values here. I'm going to put in a few more trees. I just like to fill in some of the areas. We might have a little bit more detailed here. This could be up in front again, darker in the front, lighter in the back, unless it's in shadow. And I think I'm just going to add a couple birds and we're going to call this one done. It's so easy to do a very simple little seascape silhouette doing it this way. Again, a couple more rocks back in here. Notice I went a little bit lighter on the color, so it's not dark black. I've got a little purple mixed in there. It's just going to soften everything so it's not so stark and really standing out. I'm just putting a couple little ripples in the water so it looks like some movement happening back there. And then, of course, the birds. You got to have birds because they're always in every seascape. Again, very tiny and a little flip up. All right, I'm going to remove the tape and look at that. Isn't that pretty? So simple, so easy. Just have fun with it. And if you're a patron, stick around because I'm just going to do a quick little demo on birds. Thanks so much for hanging with me today. If you like this kind of content, please make sure to like and subscribe. It really helps our channel grow here, and you can share it with some other folks that you think that might like to paint along with us. And of course, if you are interested in our Patreon, we do a lot more extra stuff in there. So much fun. And we would love to have you over there. We have a 7-day free trial if you want to head over there to check it out. Just kind of peek around and see what it's all about. If you're not familiar with Patreon, it's a great place to just help support artists and follow us and get a little bit bit of behind the scenes type of stuff that might be happening. And you also get ad-free tutorials and bonus things, all kinds of fun stuff. All right, guys, have a great week, and we will see you in the next one. And thanks to Flumbrado for sending me this little sketchbook. I will link it down below for you because this is great because they come out of the page. The pages come out of it, and you can put in your favorites, carry them around with you, or take out what you don't like.